Sensible City Lab was formed about 7 years ago. We're at the Department of Urban Studies and Planning in the School of Architecture and Planning. The lab looks at how the recent proliferation of digital technologies is actually transforming our cities, transforming the built environment. And we're asking, how does, for example, the ubiquity of network connectivity, the fact that small computational devices are embedding themselves in the built environment, allows us to understand cities in a new way, to understand them better quantitatively. How can you take that understanding and feed it back into the city to actually make cities more livable, better places? We're seeing now a large move to built environments. More than half of the planet's population is living in built environments today, in urban environments, and the trend is upward quite dramatically. Cities cover about 2% of the Earth's inhabitable crust, but they also consume more than 75% of the energy all over the planet. Infrastructures that service cities or the cities themselves. And the cities emit more than 80% of CO2 or CO2 equivalent. These are just some numbers as examples, but what's happening today is that the problems or the challenges that cities face merge with the major challenges of the planet. So if we can touch on those, even just minutely, we can make a big impact on the planet in general. There are impact areas that range from environmental issues all the way to resource allocation, energy consumption, disaster response. We're looking at mobility and transportation. There are multiple impact areas to that new change we're seeing in cities that we explore. That exploration happens in partnership with cities and members of the industry from around the world. And together we develop almost like urban experiments that we deploy together in cities to explore that kind of urban future we're talking about. If we think about what might the city look like, say, in 2 decades, probably it's not going to look too different from a physical standpoint. And there's a reason why the streets are on ground level. It's more efficient energy-wise. Many of the things we see in the city's physical appearance today probably will stay, but the experience of living in it is probably going to be radically different. Think about a place where your capacity to understand and to see, to hear, is not limited anymore necessarily to the limitation of your physical senses. Suddenly, with connectivity, with the aid of different computational devices, you can perceive what's happening at almost limitless range. Now the question is, how can that data that you can actually make use of to make smarter decisions in real time, to make better decisions about whether, about how you move, how you consume, how you pollute, how you interact with people, how you interact with the environment, how can you actually bring that data in a way that calls for action to people, be it the ordinary citizen, the city manager, or a member of the industry? This will be in the center of the exploration of what's happening, of what's to happen in that future city, in that cyber-physical city. That data needs to be designed, brought to the person in a way that is possible to digest, that it's not overwhelming, but that data also then could make its way into infrastructure in an automatic way and allow one machine to communicate with another machine and respond. That future city will be easier to move through, will probably be cleaner, but also we will see there a lot of new services that we cannot imagine today. I mean, let's borrow an example from the early days of the web. It was hard to imagine what we're seeing today with the internet back when it was started, but the fact that it was open, you as an entrepreneur could actually capture information from one server, combine it with information from another server, and offer your own idea, your own service, radically changed the web. Whether it is social networking, search, many of these things, many of these services were developed in similar ways. Think about that applied to the built environment. So what if you could actually capture information from multiple sources, combine it, and offer a new service in the built environment? This would be a radically different form of participating as a citizen, radically different form of governing as a member of the local government, and a different form of offering commercial services to the city. You can think of anything from supply chains being impacted, retail being impacted, to disaster response and air quality management, mobility. These are the things we can imagine today, and probably a lot of others will pop up along the way. At the Sensible City Lab today, we have about 30 graduate students and postdoctoral researchers. They come from multiple disciplines. It ranges from engineering, computer science, mechanical engineering, civil engineers. There are architects, designers, city planners, product designers. We have a graphic designer today as well. There are people from the social sciences, from anthropology and sociology, but also from the hard sciences, physics and math. Think about the problems of cities or the challenges of today's cities. You cannot address them from one point of view. They're complex problems. So we found that it's helpful to combine points of view when we try to understand cities better and offer new solutions to cities.